Aloha Starseeds, and welcome to episode 8 of the Rachel Z Project podcast. On today's episode, we are going to talk about the Infinity Dancers and the Age of Aquarius. I have spoken about the Age of Aquarius in previous talks, but it was in the context of a major conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter. That took place about a year or so ago, and it is now time for a major cosmic update. Due to the fact that this is episode number 8, it is also my 8-year wedding anniversary to Kevin, we are also going to talk about the deep symbolic meaning of the number 8, and precisely why the Dragon Warriors are 8 in number, and hence so are the Infinity Dancers. The Infinity Dancers, as mentioned in previous episodes, are my new go-go dance crew. And so they also function as the Dragon Warriors' secret identity in my graphic novel. This relates to the Age of Aquarius in the sense that we are coming up to a new astrological year with Aries as well. Pluto will be entering Aquarius for the very first time since its discovery. And yes, I do consider Pluto a planet. Telling stories is part of the gifts that we can leave behind to the upcoming, incoming generations, especially this Pluto and Aquarius one. And so we have a lot to cover in this upcoming episode 8. Let's jump right into it. The symbolic meaning of the number 8. Before we get into the Infinity Dancers and how they relate to the Dragon Warriors, I wanted to get into some of the very deep meanings of the number 8. The first one is that it's somewhat obvious, I suppose, that the number 8 looks like the infinity symbol when turned on its side. The Pythagoreans also called the number 8 Ogdoad, and considered it the little holy number. In tarot, 8 is either justice or strength, relating the number 8 to 11. I will be doing a little talk on angel numbers, or winks from the universe as I call them, in a future installment, where we will talk about the numbers 11 and 111. But for now, in this episode, as far as it relates to the number 8, we have a series of fun facts about the number 8. For example, a byte is comprised of 8 bits. 8 is the atomic number of oxygen. There are 8 original reindeer that pull Santa's sleigh, and I'm a big believer that Santa's a little bit of a shaman. Albert C. Carter invented the magic 8-ball in 1950. The Beatles released a song called 8 Days a Week in 1954. It takes approximately 8 minutes for the sun's cosmic rays and warmth to reach the earth. And finally, the big goddess reason why I have decided that there are 8 Dragon Warriors and 8 Infinity Dancers is this: the 8-pointed star of Ishtar. The Star of Ishtar is also known as the Star of Venus. The symbolic meaning of the Star of Ishtar is wisdom, knowledge, and awakening of the inner self. Each of the 8 rays of the star also correspond to the cosmic rays of the universe, which is why 8 is also related to the sun itself. From a musical and sacred geometry perspective, when you create dances, it is taught and learned and broken down into counts of 8. Even with Kevin as a DJ, we have related to each other in putting together playlists or songs or musical numbers in breaking down 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 8 also encompasses one of the Platonic solids, the octahedron to be exact. An octahedron has 6 vertices and 8 triangular faces, out of which 4 meet. An octahedron resonates with our emotional body. It represents matters of the heart, our feelings, as well as how we instinctively react to our events and our environment. The octahedron, from a symbolic perspective, represents universal and unconditional love. And this makes sense if you consider that 8 is also related to the sun, and the sun also rules Leo, which rules heart things and all of that lion heart good stuff. The octahedron symbolizes universal and unconditional love. Now let's get into the Infinity Dancers. Given this background information, now I can talk about the Infinity Dancers. Let's first go back to my story about the Dragon Warriors. This story is to be a graphic novel trilogy which will speak about the raising and leveling up in human consciousness and the re-emergence of magic into our world. Within the story of the Dragon Warriors, there is a show/musical called Atlantis Electric Circus, which I touched upon in a previous episode. The play within a play storytelling device I alluded to in episode 5. The main stars of this show are a go-go dance crew called the Infinity Dancers. But these dancers hold a secret identity of being Dragon Warriors. And who are the Dragon Warriors exactly? Well, let me tell you. The Dragon Warriors are an ancient warrior class from the dream of ancient Atlantis, of way back even before antiquity. Back when there were 7 tribes of Atlantis, which now represent the 7 continents of the earth, when an Atlantean girl, an ancient Atlantean girl, reached the age of 18, she would be put through the trials. The trials are a series of tests, the Gauntlet, that last about 2 years. I am going to be symbolically representing this in an artistic space by creating a 20-minute set list called the Gauntlet, in which go-go dancers dance for 20 minutes straight to a musical set list that is also a story. Now, the idea is that you cannot stop in that 20 minutes. You must constantly be moving, but there is a way of having movements that are more energy conserving and ones where you need to emphasize very strong parts in the story. And so let's go back into ancient Atlantis and how I've kind of framed things, because the way I've perceived things, and this is also informed by a lot of my mushroom trips and my dreams, as well as the book that I wrote when I was 14. But in ancient Atlantis, there were 7 tribes. And if we think of where the Atlantic Ocean is right now, I want you to imagine that there is a heart center landmass in the middle of all that, attached by various bridges and natural landmarks connecting other things. The reason I bring this up is that due to the fact that I believe the sea levels were, Atlantis sank, right? So if you think about the whole world as a whole, there would be a lot more landmass that is above the ocean. So even if I think about Malta and Kevin being Maltese and bringing that mythos into the story, Malta would have been much bigger way back in the day. And likely you would have had a land bridge that would have connected Atlantis to the rest of the ancient world. Okay, now that we've established that in this ancient world, whenever a girl reached the age of 18, she would be put through the trials, the Gauntlet, which are basically 2 years of a series of tests, physically, mentally. Think of like Dune, Bene Gesserit stuff, where women would be put through trials to understand what their role and purpose is in this incarnation. Because think about it, back in the ancient world, we were so much more in tune with her, with the earth, with the planet, with all of the mother goddesses that represent the planet. And so what these women were to understand would be what their place is in the great cosmic play opera that we reside in. That would be no different than now, right? When I talk about astrology and looking at the North Node and the South Node, where you can look at the head and tail of a dragon. And so after the trials, certain women would be called to be part of the warrior class. And out of the warrior class, you would have 7 women chosen from each tribe and with a particular skill set, and would be representing one of the 8 cosmic rays, would be part of this team, which their mandate, their mission is to protect the sacred intel of dragon knowledge, which is the deep inner magic, hidden magic of the earth, the storm, the volcano, the typhoon, the burning down of things before they can have rebirth. So it's all of wielding that. And these 7 women would choose a leader out of them. And so in this story, I am the leader. Fun fact, when I originally wrote the Dragon Warriors when I was 14, I didn't even make myself the leader. I was like second in command to my best friend. And that just kind of goes to show you that where my like headspace was at that time. So that even when I was creating the story, I didn't even think of myself as being worthy to be the leader yet. But I'm ready now. So I am the leader. My sister is also in it as a bit of a counterpart, as well as I'm pretty sure I have all the girls that I know are the Dragon Warriors. And Dragon Warriors also speak to dreamscape, astral planes, the multi-dimensionality of things, swimming through them and being able to take the magic from them to empower our warriors at home. Now, of course, when we come into the present time, or rather the time in the graphic novel itself is in the year 2222, we open a portal around this time to go there. And what has happened is, due to AI and the inorganic infestation, a lot of the organic natural world has had to go to the mountains to protect itself. But now we're being called by our mother to help her because she is raising in consciousness. The earth herself is raising in vibration, and us as conscious human beings, as part of her dream, are also raising. The issue, the challenge is, just like in ancient Atlantis, there are those who do not wish to relinquish their hold on their particular assumed role in the play and refuse to exit the stage to let other players on or to let the story to continue to flow forward. I don't know if any of you have noticed the fact that this society that we live in right now, in terms of creativity, we see the emergence of ChatGPT, AI. You're asking an AI to imagine instead of leaning into your own creative gifts. And now this is a good segue into the final chapter of this episode, which is the Age of Aquarius. So let's talk about the Age of Aquarius. I filmed a little video about the Age of Aquarius when I was very much a novice astrologer, and I was looking at the great conjunction that had taken place between the biggest planets in our solar system, Saturn and Jupiter. So they had created a conjunction in Pluto, I believe it was around when 2020 actually hit. And so I think we all felt that shift, this change that was starting to occur. But what's happening right now, which is quite interesting, is that in March, Pluto will enter the Age of Aquarius, or rather Pluto will enter the sign of Aquarius. This actually relates to the upcoming astrology chat that I am working on, which is going to feature the meaning of Pluto from a generational standpoint, as well as a case study into the movie They Live, which was released in 1988, as well as one of the stars in that movie, Roddy Piper, who is from the prairies, Saskatoon, and his chart, because he passed away in 2015. So I wanted to do a birth and death chart for Roddy. He deserves that, as well as of the movie itself in the context of Pluto. Because Pluto, from an astrological meaning perspective, Pluto takes approximately almost 10 years to move from sign to sign. And I'll divulge this here. I am a Pluto in Scorpio generation. I'm going to go into deeper meanings behind what those different generations have. But if you look at the different signs, that gives you a bit of some clues as to the flavor of what that generation will be all about based on where Pluto sits. Now, as it comes to the Age of Aquarius and the Dragon Warriors, my perspective is this. Pluto in Aquarius babies are going to be very special. They're going to be very aware of the all, the grand logos, the collective consciousness of our human family. And I can see that when I was a kid growing up, I had stories like She-Ra and Sailor Moon and the Planeteers, Captain Planet. There was just a lot of good shows there, and like not a lot of preachiness, just trying to tell fun stories. And in that, of course, there would be lessons of friendship and being kind and standing up for what you believe in. And what I'm hoping to do with the Dragon Warriors is, because each of these Dragon Warriors in the present time, of course, will not have any memory of their past selves, their latent keys in their DNA, which speaks to the fact that they were Dragon Warriors once. That awakens when you have that inner revelation and aha moment of who it is you truly are, and that we're just playing these, you know, how Clark Kent and Superman's secret identity is Clark Kent. He's really Superman, and the same goes for us. I'm playing out this secret identity of being Rachel, but really, yeah, I'm a Dragon Warrior. I am a Dragon Warrior princess from ancient Atlantis. I got some tingles feeling that. And it can feel like, okay, like, who are you? But I'm building a whole world for it. I'm going to figure out time travel through it, because in collaborating and creating this new mythos of the Dragon Warriors, I'm hoping that this new Pluto in Aquarius generation reads this story and gets it. That's all. Because at the end of the day, the importance of art and how we communicate the ineffable is so important to the evolution and leveling up of our human family. We need to stop giving away our powers to screens and machines and start really leaning into the magic of our own body's technology. And so I hope that you found episode 8 of the Rachel Z Project podcast super fun and informative and entertaining. It was all about the number 8, the Infinity Dancers, and the Age of Aquarius. I look forward to hearing your comments about how you feel about Infinity as well as the upcoming Age of Aquarius. And so I look forward to seeing all of you in the next one.